Okay. Okay. Good morning, class. I am teacher Claire, and I will be your lecturer for today. And we will be discussing the muscle, but before we move on to the next page, we will do a quick recap about yesterday's topic. Okay. So this is just a brain refresher. Number one, can you please read and answer Miss KARYLE?
Yes, miss. So the muscular system is composed of specialized cells called the muscular fiber.
Okay, thank you. That is correct. Number two, Miss CHIARA.
Number two, their predominant function is blank. Their predominant function is contractibility.
Okay, very good. What about number three? Mr. Johnston?
Attached to the bones or internal organs and blood vessels are responsible for movement. Muscles.
Okay, very good. What about number four, Mr. Fuller?
Nearly all movement in the body is the result of blank answer muscle construction.
Okay, very good. Now, let's check if your answers are correct. Okay, very good. You guys are doing great. Now, let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so why do we need to study muscles? Okay, so understanding different types of muscles like smooth, skeletal, and cardiac is essential for comprehending physiological processes like digestion, physical activity, and of course, heart function. And it also enables healthcare professionals to diagnose and treat muscle-related disorders effectively. And of course, to help individuals optimize their health and performance. And Miss KARYLE, can you please read a career path that you can take while studying the body parts?
Okay, miss. So there are 8 career paths, which are the physical therapy, sport medicine, orthopedic surgery, occupational therapy, personal training, massage therapy, strength and conditioning coaching, and rehabilitation counseling.
Okay, thank you, Miss KARYLE. Now let's move on to the next slide. So here are the objectives. Number one, you guys are going to define the smooth, skeletal, and cardiac muscles without looking at their books at the books or notes in 5 minutes. So guys, just a heads up, we will be having a quick recap or a quiz later. And number two, understand the understand the involuntary and voluntary nature of each muscle type after this lecture with at least 70% accuracy, okay? So number three, you guys will be able to recognize the importance of each muscle type in human physiology after the lecture, okay? Now let's move on. Okay, the introduction. So the general concepts. These muscles collectively ensures our ability to move again and digest, and of course circulate blood and maintain bodily functions. Now, Mr. Pular, can you please read the human body? Mr. Pular, you are in mute.
I'm sorry, miss. The human body, the physical substance of the human organisms composed of living cells and extracellular materials and organized into tissues, organs, and systems.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for reading the paragraph or the sentence rather. Okay, let's move on to the next page. Okay, so our fourth topic is skeletal muscle. But before we proceed to the next slide, can someone please give me a fact or anything that they know about the skeletal muscle? Anyone?
Skeletal muscle, miss, from the word itself, skeletal, it is attached to the bones because skeletal means bones.
Oh, yeah. Okay, what about the others?
Miss, it also helps facilitate voluntary body movements.
Okay, okay, very good. That is correct. Now let's move on. Okay, so by just looking at the pictures, what can you guys see?
It is created,
Striated.
Miss.
Okay, so
Striated muscle.
yes, it is striated, and why is it look striated? What protein does no, what protein does the skeletal muscles have for it to look striated?
It is created, Miss, because of it is composed of actin and myosin, Miss.
Okay, that is correct. And also, again, the skeletal muscle is voluntary. You yourself are able to control your muscles. Am I right or am I right?
You're right, Miss.
Okay. Now let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so this is the overview of the skeletal muscle. Again, the morphology, it is again striated, voluntary muscle, and note, almost all skeletal muscles are attached to the bones. Okay? And it also consists of numerous muscle fibers that run parallel to each other. And also, when your muscles are damaged, it is able to regenerate itself. And what cell gives the regeneration of the skeletal muscle?
I think satellite cell.
Okay, that is correct. Satellite cells. Wow. A round of applause for Mr. Pilar. Okay. Now, can someone please the development of skeletal muscle?
Miss. Development of skeletal muscle. First is myoblasts fuse to form multinucleated myotubes. Next is myotubes synthesize proteins, developing striations. Third, myotubes differentiate further, forming functional myofilaments.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Pilar.
Next
And
is
that is the development of
yeah.
skeletal muscle. And next we have the neuromuscular junction. It is like a bridge between your nerves and your muscle, but we will not be able to discuss this topic since it is very complex, and it requires more time for us to comprehend those topics. Okay, now let's move on to the next page. Okay, so next we have the cardiac muscles. When we say the cardiac muscles, what comes in your mind?
I think the functions of the heart.
Of course, the heart. Now, what is the unique feature of the heart or the cardiac muscle?
Intercalated disc, Miss.
Yes, that is correct. The intercalated discs. Now, let's move on to the next page. Oh, wait, I'm going to read this one. Okay, so the cardiac muscle is cross-striated, it is elongated, and the cell of the cardiac muscle are branched. And again, as Miss KARYLE said, it has the presence of intercalated discs. And the contraction is involuntary, it is vigorous and rhythmic. Because again, it is the heart. You gotta control the heart. Okay, so next. Okay, so the cardiac muscle function, disorders and preventions. By the word prevention, what can you do to prevent heart diseases or damaged heart? What can you prevent? What can you do?
Healthy lifestyle.
Again?
Healthy lifestyle, miss, and
Of course, healthy
exercise.
lifestyle. What else?
Exercise.
Exercise. Yes. What else? Anyone?
Eating the right amount of diet and like avoiding fatty foods because
Yes.
it can accumulate around the heart.
Yes, that is correct.
Smoking, miss. Like, quit smoking, miss.
Yeah.
Nakakon ba ng sa heart, miss?
Mm-hmm. um. So
Confident, miss, get
as you guys
sleep.
said, it is all correct because
Pwede
our
man
heart is
pakatulog.
very fragile. A little even a little word can hurt our heart, right? All right. Am I right or am I right? Yeah, I'm right. I'm always right. So we need to take care of our heart because even though that our heart isn't a person, it is still important to give attention to our heart since it is giving us the ability to be healthy, be active. The heart is giving oxygen to our brain so that we can function. Okay, so what you guys said is correct. Now let's move on. Okay, the smooth muscles. Oh no, I forgot I forgot about the smooth muscle. Can someone please tell me what the smooth muscle is all about?
Smooth muscle lacks striation, and it also does. Its cell is different from the other koan. Kay it's fusiform in shape, miss. It doesn't have any striation.
Yes, it doesn't have any striations. Yes, Miss Shara?
Also, miss, smooth muscle can be found in the intestine, like or the other organs too. Then it can also be found in the blood vessels.
Yes. Yes, that is correct.
And also, miss, smooth muscle has peristalsis from start from the esophagus to anal.
Yes, that is correct. Yes. Wow, very good, guys. Now, let's move on to the next page. Okay, so what is the smooth muscle? Mr. Johnston, can you please read it? Are you in mute?
Opo.
Smooth muscle, it consists of thick and thin filaments that are not arranged into sarcomeres, giving it a non-striated pattern. On microscopic examination, it will appear homogeneous.
Yes, that is actually correct. If you guys seen the smooth muscle under a microscope, you can differentiate the smooth muscle and the cardiac muscle because again, the smooth muscle doesn't have striations and the cardiac muscle has smooth muscle doesn't have striations and cardiac muscle has has striations. Okay, sorry about that. Next. So what is a non-striated pattern of the what is non-striated pattern or muscle? Miss KARYLE? Sure, Mr. Polar, can you please read it?
What is non-striated pattern or muscle? It is found in the hollows of internal organs such as the stomach, intestines, and urine bladder, among the other places. They are also known as involuntary muscles because their activation is not under the control of the human.
Yes, that is correct. We cannot control our stomach. We cannot control the its actions because when you say you can control your stomach, you will say, okay, so I'm eating. Okay, I will digest this later. Oh, you cannot do that. You cannot do that. It is automatic. It is involuntary. Okay. So okay, peristalsis. Okay, from the word peristalsis, we discussed this in our previous lessons, and I know you guys already know the word peristalsis. Am I right? Okay, so since you guys
Yes,
already
ma'am.
know the word peristalsis, can you please tell me what peristalsis is all about?
peristalsis means is wave-like motions, or like when when you eat a food, then it has a relaxations and contractions. That's all, miss.
Yes, that is actually correct. It is the movement of our smooth muscles in order for the food to pass down. And again, as Mr. Polar said, it starts from the esophagus until the anus. Because the food enters our mouth into the esophagus. The food doesn't just stay in the esophagus, guys. The esophagus will perform the wave-like movement for the food to be able to pass down into our stomach, small intestine, large intestine, until our anus, until we defecate, right? Okay, so next page. Okay, so this is our assessment. Label the structures and identify the type of muscle for each diagram. Number 1, anyone? Okay, Miss Karyle.
Miss, number 1, it indicates it has a cross striation, so it's a muscular, miss, cardiac muscle.
Okay,
Cardiac
yeah,
muscle.
that's correct. And Miss Karyle, what can you what is the unique feature of the cardiac muscle?
Intercalated disc, miss.
Okay, very good, very good. You haven't forgot about that. Number 2, anyone? Okay, Miss Shara.
So number 2 is the skeletal muscles. Since you can see there's a bone. The bone is number 6. It is number 6 is the bone. Then number 1 is the tendon, since it connects muscles to bones. Then 2 is perimecium. No. 2 is epimecium. Then 3 is perimecium. Then the 4 is the muscle fiber. Then 5 is the fascicle.
Okay,
That's
yes, that is correct. Very good. A round of applause for Miss Shara. So, okay, never mind. Number 3. Who can answer number 3?
Number 3 is a smooth muscle.
Yes. Okay, so what is the unique feature of the smooth muscle?
Oh my god, I forgot, miss.
Miss.
Gigo.
The bottom one is the nucleus. The middle is the dense bodies, and the upper part is the intermediate filaments.
Okay, very good. That is correct. Wow, you guys are smart. You should have taken physical therapy. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, let's move on to the next page. Okay, this is just a short recap. Let's move on. Oh wait, a skeletal muscle again, it is voluntary. Or true or false? True or false? The skeletal muscle can perform peristalsis. True or false?
False.
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 Very good.
False.
True or false? You can control the cardiac muscle.
Nor. False, miss.
False.
False.
False. And
Cardiac
number,
false.
last, the smooth muscle is able to move in a wave-like movement.
Correct, miss.
Yes, miss.
Peristalsis,
True.
miss.
True, miss.
Yes, peristalsis. Very good. Wow, you guys. Okay, you guys have uno for me. Huh? Okay. Okay, conclusion.
Papas rami, miss.
Yes, I will pass you, Miss Karyle. You guys deserve to pass, okay? So, number 1, Mr. Johnston, can you please read the skeletal muscle?
Skeletal muscle. It is unbranched, cylindrical, multinucleated, striated, and voluntary construction.
Very good. Okay, number 2, Mr. Polar.
Cardiac muscle, it is branched, cylindrical, single nucleus, striated, involuntary construction, presence of intercalated discs.
Okay. Number 3, Miss Shara Isabel.
Smooth muscle is spindle-shaped or fusiform. It has a single nucleus. not striated, involuntary, and involuntary contraction.
Okay, very good. Now, this picture is provided. You will see this in under a microscope. This the muscles will look like this. The picture is provided under a microscope. Okay, so let's move on to the next page. Okay, so here is our assignment, guys. Since I will not be able, oh no. Since I will not read this to you, you can just screenshot your screen so that you will have a reference for the assignment, okay? And if you guys have any further questions, don't hesitate to message me or contact the officers as well. And these are the submission guidelines. You can also screenshot it for future references. Okay, so before we end our
miss.
lesson, do any one of you have a questions about our topic? Is it a none so far? Okay,
far,
I'm
miss.
proud of that. Okay, that means you guys understood our topic. And that is it. Thank you guys for listening and have a great day ahead. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Goodbye, miss.
Thank you,
Thank you, miss.
miss.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
miss. Thank
Bye-bye,
you, miss.
miss. Oh no, miss. Oh
Oh
no.
no, Jod. Oh no, Jod ne. Wala na. Eh, so,
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Pag-stop. Hala, 5 minutes ra.
Okay, ra matagal na.
5 minutes.
Dugay, feeling ko dugay na to.
Ay, dili di ay. Ang
Pero
time di
na-
ay. Nayabag. Sige na. Okay na, guys.
Bye-bye.
Sige, sige, sige.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Ay, nag-mute ka, day.
Span nyo eh. I-stop recording.
Saan pag-stop
Ay,
recording?
Jan, password ka
Bye-bye.
dyan.
Nana sa ima ba, guro? Tanang na stop recording.